Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst Boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Well, whatever.
How about this, Cowboys?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode and edition of the Jersey Boyz Podcast right here on the Chop Sports Media YouTube channel, of course, Premier Podcast Network. Your host, Dave Sturchio, alongside nationally known comedian Bret Ernst, and, of course, the Grinch himself from all the way out there in sunny Los Angeles, California, I think, right? Are you near? You're in L.A.? I don't even know where you are.
I'm in LA.
You're in L.A., sure,
I'm
fine.
in LA.
You're in Hollywood. It is none other than Hollywood Henderson. No, Hollywood Keith Ernst. What's going on, fellas? How we feeling? We're 7-3, feeling good, feeling great, grand, wonderful. Keith, we'll start with you. The Cowboys get another convincing win. Took them a little while to get going, get their bearings, but once they did, they rolled. I did, the best part about Sunday was that I actually told my old man and my brothers were watching the game. I was like, I got to watch what I say to the fellas today because receipts are always brought up on me every single Tuesday. So I'm kind of curious to know if I did spit off at all. Please.
Can I answer?
Yeah, go.
You did send something that was a little curious.
No, okay, good.
Because, first of all, let's just get into our game predictions. You guys kind of predicted blowouts. I didn't. I said 17-16, which it was 17-10 going into the fourth quarter.
You.
No, I'm just saying. Argue me, because here's my thing.
You just
Ready?
love being right.
Oh, look who the fuck is talking. Stop it. I'm you. All right, here we go. Sturch at around 12:09 p.m., by the way.
12:09. So that's 1:09 my time watching the game.
Exactly. And the game, there's only a quarter left. LOL. We have a game.
I digress. I'm wrong. 12:09 your time is around 3:09 my time. Sorry.
3:09 your time, yeah. So this is Sturchy. After Bret, who just said, I'm you to me, says in the fourth quarter, we can't get a stop. But yeah, be me though with my 17-16 pick. Be me.
I'm that. Is that a prediction?
Like,
That's a call.
defense is gassed to death. It doesn't, and you're like, fuck. My brother's like, fuck. Now these are guys that predicted blowouts, and knew it was going to be a blowout the whole time, right? Panicking. Well, here's where I'm coming to. Ready? This is my.
Great.
As he's getting older, he's becoming more and more fucking the Grinch. Go ahead, Grinch.
So here's the point I'm getting at. I don't know, Stretch. You got to explain this to me because this wasn't your prediction. It was mine more than yours.
Okay.
LOL. We have a game against the 1-8 Panthers. I won't make any drastic calls right now for receipts for Keith, but I saw this coming from miles away.
What time was that?
That was in the fourth quarter before Dak drove and scored a touchdown to put us ahead 24-10.
I don't know.
So it's 17-10, and you wrote, I won't make any drastic calls right now for receipts for Keith, but I saw this coming from miles away. When did you see this coming? If anyone saw it coming, it was me, even though I ended up being wrong. That's my point. That's what I was trying to bring up before Bret was trying to shit on me the whole time.
I wasn't shitting on you.
So, but what did that mean? What you saw? Did you see it coming the whole time?
No, you know what this means? I failed as an older brother.
Why? How?
No, I'm kidding.
But how is it this a point? And he's flustered, everybody. He can't, his hands up in the air, his mouth wide open.
People are watching this on YouTube, but like I'm wondering.
Well,
I'm trying to figure out why I would say that or what intrigued me to say that at 3:10 in the afternoon, which means we're kind of rounding out the day.
No, I already know what happened. I'm telling you exactly when it came because
when did it come?
I was thinking, because this is how sick I am. I want the Cowboys to win, but I want it to be 17-16 so fucking bad. So I'm like, this is playing right into how I predicted. And then I saw this right after they scored that touchdown to make it 17-10, Sturch, is when you wrote this. Because we got the ball back, which, by the way, going into the game, that right there, that drive that Dak had after the Carolina Panthers scored a touchdown on us was the greatest drive we've had all season.
And it was so needed. So needed.
I'm just saying all season because Our defense, did you know that was the longest drive the Carolina Panthers had all season?
Yeah, they said it on the broadcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they said that. Okay. So all the way, they had 3 4th downs they converted. Our defense was gassed.
Said that.
Offense comes out, as we all know, drives down the field with an awesome drive. No help on that one with penalties and shit. It was just a balanced, awesome drive to score a touchdown and pull ahead 24-10, make our defense rest, and then boom.
I know.
We know what happened with Bland. So.
I know it sparked my saw this coming from a mile away thing now. It was when Carolina pulled within 7, and I was like, son of a bit. Like, I'm like, God damn it. Like, this is what's happening. Like, the Cowboys.
He's projecting the Cowboy fan fears that we have. That
I think, honestly, dude,
but I saw this coming from miles away. Sounds like
that was his internal Sturch that was scared we were going to.
No. Let him speak for himself.
No, that's exactly.
Hey, fuck you! You've been talking for 7 fucking minutes. All right, Santa Monica Grinch.
So
7 minutes.
All I'm saying is, when they pull within 7, I was starting to get a little. I started feeling some sort of way, right? So it's like, and not saying like, yeah, I predicted us to win big, but like I also in my mind, I think all Cowboys fans, or at least the ones that have been around longer, have this PTSD about this team where we can't get excited about anything long term, if that makes sense. Like we can get excited about like.
I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. This is. What I get from this is the show, Sturch, where you see this coming from a miles away. You can't do it right before a game and all that kind of. You say it on the show here to our fans.
All right.
Okay.
On the #1 Dallas Cowboy New Jersey podcast. All right. This is where you say it.
#1 in New Jersey.
If anyone should have wrote that text, it should have been me.
Okay. Correct. Fair.
Okay, that's it.
All right.
Anyway,
even though we blew him out, Keith was right.
Yes. So welcome everybody to the Jersey Boyz Podcast, where the Cowboys are now 7-3. They are now going into Turkey Day. Now officially 2 games, or at least, officially 2 games behind the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll get into that in a minute because there's not much to talk about the Carolina game. Everybody kind of delivered. Everybody did their thing. Tony P finally got some traction under his feet. He looked great. All the tight ends look good. Shoemaker making some big plays down the stretch. Hit the McGregor walk when he scored the touchdown, which I love. Dak Prescott didn't have the big stat day that everybody his yardage wise wasn't like some incredible feat, but again, a sound performance, no turnovers from Dak Prescott. It was one of those games where we kind of just coasted. And oh, by the way, you almost can't have a Cowboys game anymore without a Deron Bland pick, which is crazy to me. He's got more touchdowns. And I saw the stat. My buddy Scoop sent me the stat. He's got more touchdowns than Kyle Pitts does in his career.
Yeah. Like
Deron Bland, defensive back, has more touchdowns than one of the highest coveted tight ends coming out of college. And that was like 3 years ago. So it's like, what this kid is doing is insane. But what I don't know, and I'll ask Keith this because you're the
No, ask Brett. I've been talking too much. Please.
No. Well,
you have to answer it.
You're the historian. I like you know crazy stats. They said that Deron Bland, with his 4th pick 6, ties an NFL record. Who the fuck else has 4 pick 6s in a season? Do you know? Because I don't.
No, I don't. I mean, I actually, I'm not going to cheat because I saw they did name him. I saw an article.
Really? They named him?
But I remember thinking it didn't it wasn't like someone that jumped off the page. I mean, you know who doesn't get enough credit, and I think is the greatest Dallas Cowboy defensive back.
I'll cut you off. He's actually very good. Who has 6 pick 6. I just looked it up because I needed to know because I didn't. But you remember our old nemesis from the Eagles, Eric Allen?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
He had 6.
Whoa, he's had 4 picks. He's had four pick 6s.
Almost it's in one season. So why is it saying he's got 6? This is wrong. Whatever.
But I was gonna say, I mean, to me, Brett, and I think Brett would agree with me, the greatest defensive back of all time, Dallas Cowboy defensive back of all time is
Everson.
Absolutely. And what is crazy is,
all right, I didn't mean to jump over it, Brett.
No, it's fine. I thought you'd think Dion though.
Oh, some people, that's a hard debate to even say that Dion's an all-time Cowboy. So
yeah, exactly.
I think of him as a Cowboy.
Whenever I see interceptions, I think Everson Wall's first. I think a Cowboy history. and I'm always like, okay, who's coming close to Everson Wall's friggin' historic stats? Who, by the way, should also be in the Ring of Honor. But anyways, I got a question for both of you. Now, do you contemplate trading? I know it sounds crazy, but would you? I know you know where I'm going with this.
I know exactly where
If
you're
you
going.
could get a first-round pick, I mean, I know Gilmore's getting a little old or whatever, but
Yeah, he's
can
only
we
on a
really,
one-year deal. He's only on a one-year deal.
I know, but can we really pay 2 corners?
Well, Deron Bland's, first of all, Deron Bland's a 5th-round pick. So it's not like you're getting.
But I'm saying, though, we keep Deron. Would you trade Trayvon for like a couple first-round picks or something like that?
I don't think you're getting.
Get corners to get a corner like this is to have corners like this is very rare, man. To have it,
but bro, we're not going to be able to pay both of them. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're not going to be able to pay both of them.
We're not going to have to cross that bridge for another 4 years, dude.
For Bland?
For 3 years, yeah, he's in his 2nd year, so he's got a 5-year deal on it or a 4-year deal on a rookie year. You'll franchise him once, or maybe like I just don't think that's going to be an issue, and not for another couple of years. So like right now, we're blessed to have both of those guys. Go ahead, Brett.
And the other thing is that again, not taking away from Bland, but Diggs has been consistent, and we got to know if it's just Bland's going to have to keep doing this at least another year to be this consistent. But I mean, God, are we lucky to get that, man? I don't know.
I would say last year he did it too. I mean,
Listen,
he had some great plays
in
last year.
today's league to have corners like that, that's way more what's what I'm looking for? Rare.
Valuable. Wow.
And more valuable, yeah, in today's league.
Because I'm looking at Deron Bland, bro, and his closing speed is so fast. Like there's balls that are thrown out of the quarterback's hand, and you're like, there's no way he can get to that, and he gets to it. You know what I mean? It's just like his closing speed is ridiculous.
That interception's a great example.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought the guy was wide open, and he just, like you said, even in slow motion, he's like getting there at lightning speed. It's insane.
It's funny.
Dude,
it's funny that you bring up Everson, because Everson, I think, was a free agent when we got him, and Bland
he wasn't drafted. He wasn't drafted.
Bland is one of those guys that you can't to have him and Diggs, dude. I mean, again, I don't know how bad that injury is. If he's gonna be able to recover from it, which he should. But yeah, it's just rare, man. I
feel bad bringing that up now. I feel bad I even brought that up. I feel like a scummy football owner.
Well, no, listen. Sometimes when you,
I do. I feel like a scumbag even saying
but
that.
What are we gonna get?
But
that's so valuable to have, bro.
Right.
I wouldn't change that for the world right now.
This is the football gods coming to get Keith right now. Like, don't you ever talk about Trayvon Diggs like that again.
I mean, but dude, I gave up a long time ago. I used to be so loyal to the fucking players, man. And I would never even think that way. When they were on our team, I'm like, yeah, he'll be here forever, and then they leave, and you're like,
listen, as one of my favorite rappers of all time. I don't even know who said this actually, but these hoes ain't loyal, bro. They're not loyal to us. They leave. You know what I mean? So it's a luxury to have both. Next year we'll have both. Keith is dying. It's official.
Hey, I got something to tell you guys. I never heard this before, but this is pretty awesome.
Breaking news.
We're being from Jersey and all this. Because I got in a discussion with somebody in a Tecmo Bowl chat, right?
Tecmo Bowl's great.
I got to grow the fuck up, bro. I really do. I have to grow up, seriously. So I'm in a Tecmo Bowl chat, and he starts talking about the Cowboys and this. And he's like, oh, and I'm like, someone called me a bandwagoner because I'm not from Dallas. You know how we always did that.
Sure.
And some guy actually stuck up for me because I'm like, no, it was in the early 80s. They were on TV. My brother followed them. I was watching them all the time. They were like my superheroes. And now, I just loved it. And he, you know what he said? He goes, no, you know what you are? I go, what? He goes, you're a logo fan. And I was like, that's interesting when you think about it. Because we talked about that the other day, Brett and I. Like, if they changed the logo and they moved somewhere else, we wouldn't be fans anymore.
All right. That's fair.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I never heard that before. Logo fan.
Logo fan.
Fan. And here's the thing. My whole thing about being a fan, I always say this. It's not how you become a fan. It's if you stay a fan. And I know so many people that go, I used to be a Dallas Cowboy fan in the 1990s. I want to fucking choke them.
Oh, those people drive me fucking nuts. And
Yeah,
look, I've had this age-old debate with, Chris, because we're here all the time talking sports or whatever. And he's like, you have no right to question how somebody's fanhood is. And I'm like, that's fine. But I'll question you as a man. Like as a man, like if you're that much of a softy to leave your squad because they're either not doing well, or the one guy was like, and look, this is a touchy subject, I get it, but one guy left as a Jets fan because they signed Michael Vick and he fucking killed dogs. Like, wait, what? Like, you can just not root for the dude and just be a fucking Jets fan. Oh, I'm not allegiant to them. After they signed that piece of shit, right? Yeah. That's like me saying, like, I'm an advocate against domestic violence. So as soon as the Cowboys signed Greg Hardy, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah,
man. We have nothing to do with what these jerk-offs do on the outside. Like they're the fucking millionaires.
The only ones I will kind of stick up for a little bit, and I've met them, are the ones that stopped altogether when Tom Landry was fired. Those are the only ones where I'm like, okay, but they're not a fan of any team. They don't have another team. They don't have any team. They stopped being Cowboy fans because they were, after how Tom Landry was.
I'll raise you that one's a good one because I think, obviously Tom Landry's the GOAT, but like, what about the people like, as soon as they start taking knees for the anthem, I stop watching football. I'm like, bro, you'll be back in 6 months. Shut up. Stop. It's so lame. I hate you all. But I love all the Cowboys fans, and we're rocking and rolling right now. We're 7-3. The Cowboys, obviously, again, delivered on all fronts. And I feel like the Cowboys are always it's going to be a slow start no matter what. Unless something drastic happens, like a pick six or a block field goal or something that we've seen this year already where the games get like out of control. The Cowboys will kind of, they'll have their 3 and outs. And it's funny, like, and Keith, you said the same thing last week when we were talking about the game. He's like, we can't have 3 and outs. I don't want the ball first, blah, blah, blah. Bro, the first thing out of my mouth was when they were lining up to receive the kick. I was like, oh man, Keith didn't want the ball first. Keith didn't want the ball first. Not anybody else. Just Keith. Keith didn't want because here comes a 3 and out. And guess what? 3 out. You know what I mean? So I was just like, here we go.
So, bro, I got a question for my brother. What did you think of the offense at first and how the play calling was?
Dude, it was, it was obviously I wasn't happy the first drive. And then, those stupid little end around reverses and stuff. I was like, just run the ball, man. But, again, what you said about Dak after that touchdown, because our offense was firing on all cylinders the last 4 games. And, we did. We scored when we had to. I'm happy the way Dak's been playing, man. It makes me feel really, really good and secure. I was just talking to my buddy Moneyline Monaco on the MSG network that called me.
What an absolute psychopath he is.
That kid is nuts.
He is out of his. I was like, they gave that kid his own show. I was like, that's insane.
He's the best.
Great. No, he's the man.
And the thing with Dallas right now, because I know, we needed the Eagles to lose. We just have to assume that they're going to win outright. And I know we were talking about in the text, and as fucked up as this sounds, I would, if we're going to lose again, I wouldn't mind losing to the Eagles again and then just destroying them in the playoffs.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, that's a poetic Cinderella type, like fantasy Disney
but
story.
We're playing really well. And then, look, the defense was sputtering a little, even though we had 5 sacks? How many sacks did we have?
Oh, we kicked the shit out of that kid.
Yeah,
man. He's got some tough sledding over there, man. Listen, they're going to wind up, and the worst part is they gave up their first round pick to Chicago, so now Chicago's got their pick next year. So they're just like they're totally treading water right now, and I don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
We have 5 sacks and then getting a turnover for a touchdown, and then we just started rallying and dominating, and then Cooper came in. Cooper threw. Dude, those 3, he was throwing dimes, man.
Now, I was going to ask you guys this, and like maybe, again, the Cowboys are handedly, I think I read a stat yesterday or 2 days ago that Dak Prescott has officially sat out a complete game if you add up all the time that he's sat out because they're up a lot. So that's kind of
really
crazy, right?
That's
or at least, even if it's maybe a half, no, it's definitely more than a half of football because we've seen him sit 2 fourth quarters. So there was more than that. So we've dominated. But I wanted to ask you guys how you felt. I mean, look, we're kicking the shit out of a bad team. Are you cool with Cooper Rush coming in and fucking slinging it? Like, or are you just like, hey, why don't you just run the ball and get the fuck out of Dodge?
I mean, for me, I wouldn't do that. I would just, especially if I knew the team already threw in the white flag and they were done, I wouldn't be passing it. That's just not my style. But, maybe they want to try something with him and see, keep him a little warmed up.
And that's the Bret's point. The Bret's point's the first drive and the cute shit. And like, yeah, I put out a lot of tweets during the game and I say those same things. Like, could we not just do this cute shit? And a couple people replied saying they're doing this because of the short week and like they don't want to show everything. And I know this is really like deep analytics, but almost as if like they're running plays that they more than likely will never run again for the rest of the season.
We weren't up that big when that was going on.
I know, but it's almost as if they had a little bit of a chip saying like, we're going to score our points, but here comes a couple.
No, that doesn't make sense.
I don't like
putting Cooper in does because of the short week, but it doesn't make sense to be doing all that.
Yeah.
I don't want to use a generic term, but razzle dazzle in the first quarter. I meant, what do we got to get ahead and.
Well, I'll say, bro, that the first, because I was just watching the condensed version again, and I wanted to see, we didn't run until I believe it was the
second drive,
yeah, fifth play, and it was an end around.
So here's my
saying though, it wasn't even a line up and run; it was an end around, and you're like, what? And also, what I noticed that I did not like, and it's generic because it's like, okay, I'm the Rico Dowdle and Tony Pollard in the backfield with no Dak.
Can we
that
stop?
Didn't work at all.
Yeah, I call that.
It's fucking awful. It's like, you're going to, what are you doing? I'm your little fake. I'm run the fucking ball if you're going to do that.
I'm Dak Prescott lined up in the slot, by the way. Like, you're going to fucking run.
And he didn't even sell it, Dak. He just ran. He jogged around. It was like, this is awful.
Yeah, he ain't doing shit. And I'm like, what are we doing here, guys? Come on.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, man. I think we should start doing a little I formation, have Lepke as the fullback, just start pounding the ball, man.
They've done that. Yeah, they've done that. But I think they should, add to your point, I think that more of that is necessary. Those guys, and I'm starting to see the game. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, it's a trained eye where it's like watching football from a different point of view. I actually look ahead. Like when there's a sweep or something or an outside edge run, like I look ahead, I look to the linebackers already before I'm even like, who's able to get a hat on a hat? Like, is he going to break this one or are we going to get tripped up? That's the one bugaboo, if we're saying razzle dazzle now bugaboo. That's my one gripe with Tony Pollard this year is that he can't make a guy miss. You know what I mean? Like if he's running bull nose straight at you, then yeah, for it, all done. But like there's like he used to have this shiftability that would just like make guys completely lose their cleats. And now it's just like he's getting shoestring tackled, and it's just like
he just touched his ankle one time. It seemed, and he went down. I was like,
I don't think he's ever. And then my dad said the same thing, and most people say the same thing. Maybe he just hasn't recovered from his injury. You know what I mean? Like it could be a thing. Like, look, my ACL to this day, I tore it in 2014. There's days I wake up, I'm like, ugh, but that's a decade ago. You know what I mean? So this guy's 11 months removed and he's in the NFL.
What my favorite thing was Cooper Rush went in is hearing Cooper Rush go, here we go.
He's trying.
Hey, did you know that's how Bret's mom orgasms right before.
Oh yeah, keep going. Here we go.
That's how deep her voice is and everything.
Dude, that's so funny you say that, bro. There's been tweets about it. Like Dak is out there. He's like, yeah, here we go. Right. And then Cooper Rush is like, yeah, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
So, bro, he's so white. He's like such a white guy. Oh my God. That's so great. Anyway, so that's that. The Cowboys are 7-3. Now, unfortunately, what we saw on Monday night is that the fucking Chiefs need a fucking guy that can catch a ball outside of Travis Kelce. And by the way, Travis Kelce also part of the complete shitstorm that was a complete giveaway of a game. The Chiefs had that game, I feel like, in hand multiple times over, but the Chiefs gave it away. And now you see the Philadelphia Eagles at 9-1 and the Cowboys at 7-3. Now there's 7 games to go. The Cowboys are officially 2.5 because of the fact that they beat us already, 2.5 games out. There is a path for the Cowboys to win the NFC East. There is. There absolutely is. All the Eagles really have to do is lose the next 2, which again, the Bills looked like the Bills, right? The Bills look like a little bit of a better team. And then they got the 49ers, right? So the Cowboys could pick up a win on Thanksgiving. We'll talk about that game in a minute. And then there's the game next week against Seattle. Nothing to sneeze at, but Geno Smith might be out for an extended period of time. We don't know yet. So all of a sudden, it kind of looks like the Cowboys and the Eagles could potentially be facing off each other at 9-3 apiece, which would be the heavyweight fight that we're all waiting for, that they're all of a sudden they're tied. Now, even if they don't, even if Philly splits the next two and Dallas takes the next two, Dallas will be down a game with a game to play against Philly. So then all of a sudden, if Dallas does handle business and they tie them, they'll both be 10-3 with a season series split. So all of a sudden it's down to the wire, and then, the rest is history. But I know last week Keith was having a fucking brain aneurysm about talking about like playoff scenarios and shit. But now it's really starting to crystallize where the Cowboys have found themselves, right now, because of the Seattle loss to the Rams. Thank you, McVay and the Rams. The Cowboys are firmly entrenched in the 5. And right now, if the playoffs did start today, they're going to the Dome in New Orleans to play the Saints. Now, we kind of hope, I'm assuming, Keith, you're on the same page. We hope that stays the same. If we're not going to win the division, playing the Saints or the winner of the South would be the ideal situation, correct?
Yeah. I get nervous in that stadium a little bit.
I mean, that's not a foregone conclusion that they win the South. I mean, the Falcons are kind of treading water. They don't really look that good. The Bucks, I don't know. Baker Mayfield, I just don't see it. That division is just kind of in like disarray right now. The Panthers, obviously the worst team in the league. So all of a sudden, by default, you would think that the Saints can hobble and win that division at like 7-10. If push came to shove, they might, right? And then it's literally identical situation to last year, where we're playing the under 500 Bucks. But the only difference is this time there's no Tom Brady. So
no, for sure. I mean, and I know what you're trying to do here. You want to look at this, but I'm just, once again, I don't want to. There's so much football to play.
There is 7 weeks.
Hypothetically, I'll talk about this. Sure.
Yeah. All I'm saying is
I'm 100% doing that. I don't see us winning the East. I think it's too far. It's out of our hands. I'm starting to look at, like Seattle losing was a big deal for me. I'm watching the other teams that I would have liked to have seen a Detroit loss, even though they'll probably end up winning their division anyways.
Yeah, who's going to run with them?
So you've got if the division winners are the Eagles, the Niners, Detroit, I definitely would want to go to New Orleans as opposed to those two places or three.
Look, if you looked at the Eagles schedule after week 1 and you said, who are they going to lose to? None of us would have said the Jets.
Correct. They could easily be 10-0.
That's what I'm saying. But that's not my point. My point is that there's other games too, besides Buffalo and the 49ers coming up. You never know who they could trip up against. And another thing, I'm not wishing bad on anyone, but I'm just looking at history. Jalen Hurts has been known to take injury games off because the way he runs. You saw him running last night. I mean, he's such a physical player that he's always hurting himself and needs to be taken out a game or two.
Aikman brought that up on the broadcast that his knee might not be right for the whole year.
That's my point. So there's so many factors that could happen here where I'm just see how everything plays out.
Yeah, but if we're doing hypotheticals, if we're not going to do we have to assume that the Eagles are going to just maybe lose one game, coming up. You usually lose games like that early in the season, or if they're going to get a trap game, maybe one, they'll fall for one. Because they're definitely going to get up for us, which again, Eagles are beatable. What I love about the way we're looking is, we're playing pretty well. We're starting to crescendo. The Eagles are definitely beatable. They should have lost that game. They should have lost against us, but they're not. So that's another bad sign when these good teams end up finding a way to win. But we gotta look at what we gotta do and how we gotta keep playing. And I don't see us winning the NFC East, man. I just don't.
So it's funny with Hurts too, because I don't even know who's the backup for the Eagles.
Right now it would be I don't even know.
We knew it was Minshew last year. I mean, that's the whole thing. I was just thinking. I'm like, if that did happen, like, could that really? That could, but I don't know. And this is just based off, like you said, what Aikman was saying last night and all that kind of stuff. We don't wish that on anyone, but the way he runs and the way he's such a physical
Mariota.
Huh. Well, he's not a bad. I mean, he could win a game or two, yeah. But I'm going to say this: we have 8 games left. The Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry, 7 games left. We're losing, I think, at least 2 more. I don't know where they're going to be. I don't know when they're going to be, but I think we're losing 2 more. I know. That's what I think.
Well, here's the thing: if that's the case, then Mike McCarthy will have his 3rd straight 12-5 season. So it's like,
I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, 12-5 ain't nothing to sneeze at, but it would suck to finish 12-5 and lose the division by like fucking 2 games. So that just means
it could be. I mean, look, we got Detroit coming up, we got Philly coming up. That Seattle game is like I know you brought it up. That one's tricky because that's right before the Eagles.
It's tricky. It's yes, you could potentially overlook them, especially if they're without their quarterback. We don't know. Like I said, they got a quick turnaround too. They got the Niners on Thanksgiving, so they have the same rest that we do coming off that. So that's a different ball game. There is a difference in this one where the Cowboys, I feel like every time this happens, they go on the road after Thanksgiving lately. So like lately they've been doing the Minnesota game or whoever, but now this time it's home cooking. They're not going anywhere. So they get to stay home against Seattle. So it is good because there's no travel or anything like that. Seattle, again, it's a 7-day rest no matter what, but we'll get to Seattle when we get to Seattle. Let's talk about the Redskins for a second. The Washington Commanders coming in. They're recently coming off a loss to our cousin Tommy DeVito, getting off the schneid, getting himself a win for big New York. All of a sudden, he's the darling of New York after one fucking win, which is nuts to me. 2 weeks ago,
God bless.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago they were putting this guy in the dumpster behind Soprano's house.
Yeah. No, but did you watch some of that game at all?
I did see some
of
his
watch the condensed version.
No, I didn't watch the condensed version, but
he was well, bro. He was putting some dimes, DeVito.
DeVito dimes.
No more Danny dimes. DeVito dimes. He was, hey. And here's my call really quick. All right. Before we get off the Carolina, I want to give an MVP to a player. And his name is Adam Thielen. Holy shit, bro.
They got nobody else.
He catches everything. And we're right on him. I mean, that guy was phenomenal. And my call of the game is, and this is, I hate when and this is going to lead to my Sam Howell complaint, okay? Because I can't stand him. I cannot stand. I'm his name, first of all. And then besides all that, I'm just it. But
fucking people named Sam. They all suck.
How? Just a how. It's anyway.
How?
But when Dak Prescott when he took off and he slid and the guy kind of fell on him a little bit and they got a personal foul. On that call. That was awful. Stop it. I watched it 3 times. And Dak was like, hey, and we all run over and Dak throws the football at him. Just fucking, you're running the fucking ball. I'm so tired of quarterbacks. And when I see my quarterback do it, it really bothers me. The guy tried to let up. He wasn't doing that on purpose. They do that to get a penalty. It's the new flop.
So basically every Patrick Mahomes rollout ever.
No, but I'll warm you up with Patrick Mahomes. And you'll never guess what his name is.
Wait. So you're one-upping Patrick Mahomes as far as bitch made?
Somebody is worse than him.
Oh, wait, hold on. Give me the conference.
I don't have to. We're talking about him right now.
Sam Howell?
Yeah. He is the most annoying fucking quarterback to watch.
And he's about to ruin our fucking Thanksgiving.
He's gonna ruin shit, bro. Listen, he's so. First of all, they do watching his games. Okay, they do the misdirections all the time with him. Fake rollout. All he does is dump it down. If he's not dumping it down, he's running. And when he runs like the biggest fucking spaz you'll ever see in your life. He doesn't slide. He doesn't do any of that. Now, if he does decide to throw deep, he tries to fit it in tight windows, or he just throws a stupid fucking pass.
Yeah,
I like this matchup a lot. Now,
he's actually the most sacked quarterback in the league too. By the way,
he is the most sacked. Yes, so true. Now, there was a play in the Giants game. Please, if you guys can find it, I was laughing so hard at this play. So Washington's like on the 12-yard line or somewhere around there, right? They're in the red zone. Sam Howell takes off like he fucking does, right? And he's just, he's running like, like he's going to fucking kill people. So the Giants, it sucks being a defender. They try to stop him. So there's like 2 or 3 guys that come at him hard, but they don't want to hit him too hard. Sam Howell puts his fucking head down and goes, bam, goes into him and bounces back 3 yards. So they're just looking at him because they're like, shit, we don't want to hurt him. Then he tries again. He gets a full head of steam. Blah, 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 blah. Boom. And he runs into 2 other defenders and he goes back again. Well, let me finish. He goes back again. And the players are like, they're trying so hard to tackle him but not get a penalty at the same time. And then this motherfucker has the nerve to do it again. He runs, boom. And this time the guy on the sideline, he hit him and kind of like pushed him a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. And he went out of bounds. Sam Howell flopped back. And he's like this. And all of his teammates run over and start pushing the guy. And then the flag comes out. And he drew a penalty on the Giants. He drew a fucking penalty on the Giants on that. That shit drives me fucking crazy. What do you expect, dude?
He's going to have a fucking great time against the Cowboys defense.
I'm just saying, these guys are trying their hardest, and then even the last guy tried his hardest, and they still got a penalty. Then he shouldn't be able to fucking run like that. They should do, as soon as you have first contact, it's over. If that's the case, if you're going to do that with these fucking quarterbacks, I'm not talking about touching their arm or grabbing. If there's a contact, it's over. Because these guys can't do shit. They can't land on you. They can't do anything. It's fucking awful. It's awful. It's annoying.
I saw that play, man. I saw that play because the TV was 2 down next from me. And it sucks because they have all the sound off in the sports bar except for the red zone. And I caught that. He was laying on the ground.
Yeah.
Dude, he got stuck too, man.
Dude, he got stuck 3 times. And he wouldn't stop. It was awful.
Where'd I go? All right, keep going.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. But see, that's the thing that worries me. The only thing is him running. But, dude, I'm telling you, I love this matchup against our defense. I love it. Because their defense, Washington's defense is pretty good. I mean, I compare it to Carolina's. But I compare as far as, like, Sam Howell and that way they run that offense against our defense, that's going to be a win. I just see us. That's a big win for us. That's all.
Just going crazy, going, just having fun, teeing off.
Yeah, that's what he's going to do. I mean, and bro, I can't tell you how many times he tries to fit when he's trying to fit the ball into windows. I mean, I wish, but here you want to know he's the number 1 quarterback in the NFL right now.
He is
for yards, but that's another thing. His yards, I mean, they're all most of it's rack, dude. Most of it is run after. Run after catch.
Run after catches.
And that's the scary part with Washington is they have that run. They have Robinson, who of course is going to go fucking nuts in this game. We know he's going to run hard. He's going to do everything that
Carolina was running good against us, man.
No, Hubbard. Yeah, Hubbard was running good. No, and then that's what you guys talked about in text messages a lot. And you were right. I mean, you're right. And teams, and I brought this up in the past when it comes to rush defense, we're like. I think we give up 107 or 108 yards a game.
The fuck is going on with Sturch?
I don't know, but that their running back Robinson is really good, bro. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a lot of screens to him. There's going to be a lot. They're going to try to win through him and then wait for us to make mistakes.
What are we doing? Like, I mean, I know Micah's back there now, but our middle linebacking is that's what we need to find, dude. I mean, we're playing okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there is, but the when you're watching the game, those holes are huge too, man. But they just need to.
I think a lot of that is stunts. I think a lot of that's because of stunts as well.
Yeah, or whatever it is, but I mean, look, our defense in the end really had 1 drive, and they went for it 3 times on 4th down. So, once again, I mean, and that's the thing with our offense. As our offense was kind of sputtering a little bit, then had a good drive and this and that. The whole time I keep repeating to myself, this team goes through our defense.
100%.
Whatever our offense can do, just don't turn the ball over. And I don't think they had a 3-and-out except the very first drive. So
yeah, I mean, look, also Carolina very undisciplined, a lot of penalties and shit.
Oh, dude, yeah. No, that was bad.
We didn't even talk about all those personal fouls, man.
Yeah, it was getting that, and that's why. And Kevin Burkhardt said it right on the broadcast. Like, this is why they're 1-8. You know what I mean? Like they're not a disciplined football team. Now the Washington Commanders coming in, they're also not a great team, but they've won some games, right? So it's like they're not coming in like total slouches. If I saw the spread, I believe it was 10 to 11. Okay. So I'm seeing it at 11. I saw it at 10 and a half. So look, Vegas thinks that we should be able to just kind of not coast, but like this one's a little bit tighter because I believe Sam Howell does possess the ability. We saw him against the Eagles. He's not a total slouch. He could definitely sling it. They have weapons. They got a good running game. I do like Brian Robinson. Gibson was out last week. But look, the Cowboys have a chance right now to just kind of continue what they've been doing as far as like being, upper echelon team of the NFC, take care of business. Now, I know there's a lot of people that come out, well, they haven't beaten a team with a winning record. I know. It's like, who's controlling that? You know what I mean? Like the Cowboys, they don't control that shit. It's the schedule, bro.
I can't stand that.
It's like no, like you beat this team. Like, oh, I'm sorry that this is the way it shook out. You know what I mean? Like the Philadelphia Eagles and along with the other big teams in the NFL, even the Lions, like they're getting these games too. Like when they're beating.
Honestly, I mean, even talking about that, they do it every year to every team. I mean,
No,
how many great teams are there in the NFL? Sorry, there's not many. There's really one in the fucking NFC, and it's the Eagles.
Well, is there a case to be made that the NFC, just based off of what we've seen, is the NFC better than the AFC? Because going in AFC, we were like, AFC's loaded. It's going to be great. This is going to be so much fun. But if you look at the AFC, it's Kansas City, who obviously, complete blunder last week. But like, you got Kansas City out there. The Cincinnati Bengals are right. And then, okay, the Ravens are playing. Ravens are playing good football. That's 3, right? But the Bills have been suspect here and there.
Don't sleep on the Browns. The Browns have been playing good.
Yeah, but they lost Watson for the year, and I understand they won a game 10-7 against the or 13-10 against the Steelers. But like the Steelers, all of a sudden with a 6-3 record, I don't buy into the Steelers. They just fired.
I went on stage? How did the Vikings end up losing?
Oh, that's another thing. Let's ride the Broncos, bro. All of a sudden. Listen, Sean Payton's also he's up there in punchable faces as far as coaches are concerned, but he's got him playing for him now, and now they're 5-5 and in the thick of it as far as a playoff race. But I'm hard pressed to say that the NFC's got some better teams. I mean, the Eagles, the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Lions, that's 4 right there that are.
I agree. We probably have the better teams, but I still say AFC has the better quarterbacks for sure. Especially with C.J. Stroud coming up the way he is now.
Yeah, C.J., he came down to life a little bit or came back down to earth. But
yeah, I would say as far as quarterback, but right now, yeah. I mean, if you look at everyone's power rankings, which I don't bring up much, the NFC has either 3 or 4 in the top 5. So
I bring up power rankings when the Cowboys are the top dog. That's it.
Well, we're 3 right now.
I know. I'm like, well, when we're 1, I'll be like, yo, you see the power rankings this week, dude?
Who's 1 and 2?
Eagles and the Chiefs.
Yeah, and then we're 3. And
who got him at 3? Because I saw Bleacher
Prisco, CBS Sports Line.
Okay, because I saw they got us at 5 on Bleacher Report. And
so that's all right. Thanksgiving week, right?
It is.
So of course I always come up with these stupid things. All right, can you name the one NFL team that's never played on Thanksgiving? You can only have one guess. Sturch, you have 7 seconds. I'm going to count. And I'm going to do it in my head right now.
All right. The only team in the NFL that has not played on Thanksgiving is the Houston Texans.
No.
Really?
We're all ready?
Fuck.
And I'm not just talking about the Cowboys. I'm talking about in general. Okay. Ready?
Did Brett get a guess? Or did he know?
7 seconds. Go.
Trying to think. I got to go with one of the expansions. Carolina?
Fuck.
He nailed it.
You went with the wrong one. Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Okay.
Yeah, we played Carolina, bro. Remember Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah. We were at the
game started.
Yeah. Fucking McCaffrey kicked it out of us.
Well, that was he there with Cam Newton that year? That's the year they went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, then maybe not.
No, it wasn't that. No, that's the year. That was Romo's year when he came back. Remember, he beat Miami, and then the next week he lost. The next Thursday was the Thanksgiving game. We lost. We couldn't win a fucking game without Romo coming in against the Dolphins. He came with a broken back. And
he could barely throw that game. He was.
Yeah,
here's something else I noticed.
We were at this Patricia with that game, weren't we? Watching that game?
You may have been. No, I was. This is 2015. I was here. It was awful. Yeah, it was awful.
It was
But
awful.
it was one of the worst games ever, man. Like, I thought we were going to win because we were still in the NFC East hunt with 3 wins because the division was so bad. And Romo, every game Romo started, which was 3 games, he was 3-0 in.
So
I'm like, we're going to kill the Panthers, and they fucking ran us out.
So that's the year we went with Matt Castle. No,
Yes. Yeah,
All right.
Brandon Weeden, Matt Castle. Yeah.
we them boys.
And Matt Castle led us to our only other win that year against Washington on a Thursday night, by the way. The Thursday night after the Thanksgiving game against Washington. Only win that Romo didn't win that game was with Matt Castle that season. But anyways, all right, so here's something else. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, because I noticed every year, you know how we kind of try to pick the schedule, and we're always like, oh,
Sure.
and we usually nail the Thanksgiving game.
Sure.
Nobody nailed it this year. And I think one of the reasons why is it has always been going NFC, AFC that we play. NFC team, AFC team. Or we'll play an NFC East team and an interconference team. When is the last time the Dallas Cowboys played an NFC East team during Thanksgiving 2 seasons in a row? Because we played the Giants last year and we're playing Washington now. When is the last time we've done it 2 seasons in a row?
I got to assume it was the Eagles and the Giants back-to-back years at some point. No, maybe.
You don't know the
It's
years?
got to be Washington, and
Philly.
no,
Did we ever
I
play?
remember playing Washington and the Giants again, didn't we?
No. You're close, and Sturchio, you get a little pass on this. And honestly, bro, I
Oh,
wouldn't
it's the
have known this if
Cardinals.
I didn't look
We
it up.
played the Cardinals.
No, if I didn't look it up, I wouldn't. I just knew it was weird because I know 1989 we played the Eagles, and then 1990 we played Washington. That's the last time 2 seasons in a row in Thanksgiving that we played NFC East team. So, and we
The more
lost
you
to
know.
the Eagles. That was the Bounty Bowl, and then we beat Washington, which we put ourselves on the map that year.
Oh,
We
buddy,
beat Washington.
Ryan right on his fat ass. And shout out before we get into the picks for this game. Shout out to Jimmy Johnson finally getting his due on December 30th, Saturday night against the Detroit Lions. He'll be put into the Ring of Honor. So long overdue. I know that Jerry's been teasing it for a while, and he said he was going to do it. And then DeMarcus Ware got on it, and everybody was like, "All right, do the right thing, Jerry." And it just took him a little longer. But the best part is Jerry Jones just a little bit more out of touch as far as not knowing what fucking year it is. I don't know if you guys heard his
No, what
announcement.
did he say?
He goes, I want to let you know that on December 30th, 1993, you're going to be put in the hall. I'm like, no way did he just say it was 1993?
That's where he still is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Pretty sure he said 93, but then Jimmy Johnson called him. He's like, you mean 2023, right? I was like, holy shit, they haven't missed a fucking beat. But then they were like schmoozing the entire time. They were sitting in each other's fucking laps, basically, up in the box. So that's cool. But congrats to Coach Johnson getting
Isn't
way.
it insane how ego can ruin shit, man?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, look, I've never seen anything like that. Like, name another sports franchise that wins back-to-back titles and then mutually agree to part ways with their coach. Like, mutually agree. Not a firing, not a quitting. There's mutually agree, which is the one soundbite that I can remember over and over and over again is Jimmy Johnson like, we have mutually agreed. You know what I mean? That's like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, how can you not get along with a guy that just brought you to back-to-back Super Bowls? Like,
You know what I remember about that is Michael Irvin, them putting the camera on Irvin, and he goes into the locker room after Jimmy left and he threw the garbage can. Remember at the
No,
camera?
Gatorade. Wasn't it the Gatorade
Something
thing?
like that. He was like, he was all mad. I was like, oh shit.
Did you see what's his face basically dent the Kansas City Chiefs logo yesterday? And Martez Scantling or whatever, he's in the tunnel and he fucking took his helmet and he smashed it against the wall. It was like one of the like 3D KC themes. Anyway,
I mean, that weather was shitty too. I mean, you
Fine.
saw, wasn't that sleet coming down and snow? I mean, he should have fucking called it. They should have, but I mean, they're going to beat themselves up. I get it.
but listen to this.
Anyways, go
That's
ahead.
another thing. It's another thing I want to bring up because it's just like I still wonder how some of these guys get employed. Booger McFarland puts out a tweet yesterday. The Eagles got to have the worst luck. A slick field in the Super Bowl and a wet field tonight will limit their greatest weapon against the Chiefs, their defensive line. What? Like, what the fuck? The Eagles have the worst luck? Booger? Are you serious? Like,
Yeah,
come on.
yeah, I know.
Take his goddamn Twitter away. The guys like that should be suspended off social media.
I think he meant against the Chiefs, but yeah.
Who cares? Booger McFarland's the worst. Remember, I'm the Booger Mobile. Remember that bullshit?
Yeah, God.
Floating across the.
No, you remember when one guy got injured? He got blocked into it, and he fucking and they tried to turn the cameras and not talk about it. The guy like, separated his shoulder.
Speaking of, I got to ask this before we pick the game. Speaking of the journalists, the Booger Mobile. Speaking of journalists, how much stock do you put into this Colleen Wolfe thing? Like, you heard about all this?
Is this
you don't give a shit?
You mean the one where she's talking about made up sideline reports?
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, she's right. I'm on her side. I mean, look, if they're not going to talk to her and she has to say something, I mean, she says something positive. It's not like she's saying like, the head coach is going, I have a fucking hemorrhoid or something, He's putting like good words in their mouth. So I don't blame her. I think they're coming down on her and it's fucking stupid. Just leave her alone.
It's a meme now, dude. She's legitimately a meme at this point. Anyway, let's pick the game. It's Redskins time. It's Thanksgiving. It's family time. It's all that fun shit. The Cowboys coming in 7-3, and of course the Washington Commanders coming in, I believe 4-6, if I'm not mistaken. If not 4-7, maybe they haven't had their bye yet. I don't know. But we'll start with Bret. What do we got? 7-3. Like I said, you're no longer concerning yourself with the division. We got to kind of take care of what we got to take care of. How do the Cowboys fare on Turkey Day?
I mean, obviously on paper we should win it. I mean, we still got the momentum. We do have not bad luck on Thanksgiving, but I've seen a lot of Thanksgiving games where it did not end up well. Carolina's one of them, which I forgot about that one. The Leroy Horde one,
Randy Moss one, which we
the Randy Moss one.
It's the same.
You never know. 24-13, 24-10.
All right, so they cover. According to Bret, they'll cover 24-10, 14-point win, maybe 11-point win. Either way, they cover. Keith, what are we thinking here?
I think Washington, and I went off on Sam Howell and how I like our defense's matchup against him. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he does three things: misdirection play, a little short dump off. Because I was telling Bret, he did lead. I haven't looked at this week, but last week he leads the NFL in quarterback passing yards, which is crazy. Most of his passes though are rack. They're little dump offs, shit like that. He spazzes out a lot. He's going to try to he tries to throw between tight windows. And I think Dak has an issue in this game a little bit. And I think Dak is going to have a great game because he was embarrassed by Sam Howell and Washington last game of the year. I like us big here. Like, I don't know how big, but for some reason I see Washington scoring a touchdown maybe in the first half at some time, and then like a garbage touchdown at the end, and maybe a field goal. So I see Washington having like 17 points, but I picture us just, I don't know how many, bro. I'm going to go 40s.
40 burger.
We're going to score in the 40s and 17 by Washington. That's what I'm going to say.
I like that. I do like the 40 burger. I don't know if it happens. I don't know why. I feel like they're going to come out and they're going to show out. Thanksgiving, they're going to wear their classic throwbacks. Everything's going to look nice. It's going to be Turkey Day, Salvation Army, Creed at halftime. No, I'm kidding. It would be great if Creed was back at halftime. But I will be going to their concert, by the way, when they reunite next year.
What, Creed?
Hell yeah, bro.
You're a big Creed fan? I never met one before. I'm serious. People are always shitting on them.
Like it's a fucking species, like a different, like, oh my God, you're in a
I know they're popular, but it's one of those things where they're popular and people sometimes don't admit to it.
My first concert ever was Creed.
Are you serious?
I'm a huge Creed guy. And I'm not even like a Christian rock guy.
I mean, as soon as I hear that, I think fucking Rocky. So I mean, that's where I'm at with Creed. So
you think of Rock? Oh, Creed.
Rocky. No, I think Creed the movie. When you're like, oh, Creed's going to perform at halftime. I'm like, wait, Michael B. Jordan's going to be there?
You might.
And Carl Weathers?
Carl Weathers too. What's the matter with you? Sorry. So I like your score in the 40s. I don't think it gets there. I do like the 17. That makes sense. I'm even hard pressed to put him at like 20. But I'll go with your 17. I like that model. 2 touchdowns, 1 garbage, a field goal here. 17. Give me the Cowboys 30. 30-17. Just, you know, convincing enough to, you know, the end where it's probably going to be 30-10 at some point, and the garbage touchdown will happen. 30-17.
Okay, you ready for this? I got another one for you. All right.
Mhm.
If Rico Dowdle does not play, there will be chance for Deuce Vaughn to get the ball more next game because he's going to have a big game in this game. If they put him in Rico Dowdle's role and they give him the ball enough, watch.
Have you read anything about Rico?
I know he didn't practice yesterday.
Okay.
That's all I saw. I mean, you know, once again, I'm not wishing anything on anyone, but
yeah, of course. All right. Well, look, that's it. Clean sweep. The Cowboys hopefully to move to 8-3 next week when we get back to you guys. Like I said, the Eagles have the Bills, so we'll see what the division looks like in a week from now, and then we'll get back with you guys as they prepare for their Thursday night match against the Seattle Seahawks. So for Dave Sturchio, Bret Ernst, and Keith Ernst, this has been another episode of the Jersey Boyz Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst Boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Or whatever.
How about them Cowboys?